It's really important to make sure that you warm up prior to any of these exercises. So if you're going to be working on your thighs, your legs, your glutes, I really want you to warm up your hips. So let's just take the hands behind you, nice and wide, bend your knees. These are often called windscreen wipers. I'd like to think of a nicer name, but windscreen wipers will do for now. And you're just going to roll your knees over side to side. So I've got my feet about hip width or wider, a bit wider than hip width, and I'm going to roll my knees from side to side. And you can do this for half a minute or a minute. You might just want to practice this, you know, just as an exercise on its own, just to get the mobilization of your hips. And then you can also, if you prefer, and you're a real beginner, you could actually pop a Dynaband at the back of your thigh, or you can hold your thigh and you could just hold the leg and stir the leg within the hip socket, or you could bring your hand onto your knee. But just to get some movement, we want to bring fluid into that hip socket. And you know, there's no secret that my left hip, when I turned 64, my left hip started to appear to get slightly arthritic, some pain, some restrictive movement. And so this is something that I do a lot now to really ease the pain and to keep me mobile. So that was probably the first sign of my hip saying, ah, help. But I don't like to put anything down to age, as you know. I like to really work more on looking at where the issue is and what can I do to support it and to improve it and to bring it back to life. So it seems to work. And then I'm going to do the other side. So this is really gentle. So you can put a Dynaband, you can circle the leg. I often used to talk in yoga about, imagine that you are stirring with a ladle, you're stirring a bowl of soup. So your hip socket is the bowl and the ladle is the thigh bone. And you want to try and drop that thigh bone heavily into the hip socket so your sacrum feels heavy. And to be fair, just doing that now, it's very, very soothing on the nervous system as well. So another way that we can warm up the hips is to sit against a wall, or you can support yourself, of course, and just bring the soles of the feet together. Again, I have got less mobility in my hips. I think I've done too much Pilates and not enough not enough yoga, probably is the truth. But again, it's about getting the balance between working with your own body rather than following one particular discipline, which I'm really all about at the moment, is just really listening to your body and what it needs. And the way we've been programmed, I think, to talk about and to exercise, you know, it's like you've got to do this and you've got to do a bit of this, but it's really about having a banquet of different practices, because of course the hips are around your creativity, around your feeling of safety in the world, you know, your home, your money, the root chakra stuff, all plays a part energetically in what's going on in your body. So it's about working with what you've got and being gentle with yourself and not judging yourself about what your body's doing. And I think that's key into getting really positive results, which is what Pilates is all about. So try not to judge where you're at, and I'm speaking to myself as well, as always. And when I do this in class with the breath, which I will go into further in live sessions and in the membership, there'll be some sessions on this. After literally 5 minutes, my knees have dropped down to here when I'm doing it with the breath, but I'm just talking at the moment, so I can't do that. But there will be a video later on to show you how you can really go into this with the breath, with the movement, with the release, and really feel the legs just drop 2, 3, 4 inches wider. So those are some great ways to open the hips. Now the other one I want to show you is on all fours. So if you come onto all fours, of course this done together will be very powerful. So bring yourself onto all fours into a tabletop position. Nice wide sit bones, make sure your head isn't hanging, make sure your shoulder blades are not sticking out above your spine. Nice wide sit bones, rib cage lifted. And I'm just going to take one leg and I'm going to take the knee out to the side, behind and down. Out to the side, high as you can, without the hips twisting, without the spine twisting, and down. Now the other thing you want to make sure that you're not doing is dipping the back. You don't want to be hollowing the back. So this is going to require strength as well. If that's too much for you, you can come onto your elbows and do it that way. If you're finding that you're getting tired in your shoulders or you haven't got a lot of upper body strength. But in all honesty, by simply being on your hands, you are actually strengthening your shoulders and your bones in your arms. So you're doing two things in one. And then I'm going to go the other way. So I'm going to go up, out to the side as high as you can, and down. And up, out to the side, keeping that hip facing the floor. It's very easy to start twisting. And it's also very easy, if your core is weak, to start allowing the lower back to hollow. I'm going to do the other side now. So I'm going to come up. Sorry, we went to the side to start with, didn't we? Up. I'm very grateful to my clients. I often forget, well, not often, but I sometimes leave a whole section of the exercise out. And I've got one client in particular who will always let me know if I've changed the order. So, luckily, I can tell myself, my body often feels, you'll usually feel if something's different to the other side, or hopefully you'll feel. But that's why it's good to have some instruction. So we can, I often follow my own videos. If I've done a video for my class, I'll go back and I'll do the exercise. And it's so nice to be able to follow the instructions without having to think at the same time. But I was saying to someone earlier, I can do this in my sleep, this teaching, but to actually get the full embodied experience is what I'm going to be sharing in the videos in this membership, because it's lovely to just be quiet and take in and feel the body. So other way now, let's just do 4 of those, keeping the hips facing down. If you're very weak in your core, you may need to very gently draw the navel up into the spine. If your deep tummy muscles aren't really aware too much of what they should be doing. But generally in my classes, I don't talk about sucking the navel into the spine or gripping or any of that stuff, because when you've got the length in the spine and working with your range of motion, your mobility, your core muscles, your deep abdominal muscles will naturally fire themselves up. And so that's really the aim here, is again, to keep the spine long, keep the hips pointing down, and then just do what you can without the back moving, without the pelvis moving. And there you have your hip openers.